Hello, welcome! Summer School episode 11, ADC numbered Trey, featuring Graves. My name is Jonas Hex. I'm platinum ranked recently. Why should you listen to me? Good question. I'm fucking up already. I'm recently platinum. I've got about 6,000 games played. I've been playing a lot of strategy games for the majority of my life. Not so much MOBAs, a lot of Diablo, Path of Exile. I liked ARPGs. I like the third-person isometric combat perspective. Never played it competitively much. Even Leagues, probably first 1,500 wins I had was just casual, just fuck around. Started playing ranked more in seasons 3 and 4. Climbed up from Gold 5 this season so far. Recently hit Plat 5. Absolutely hating it in Plat 5. Almost want to go back to Gold 1 just so I can enjoy the games a little more. Anyways, I'm digressing from the point I'm trying to make today. So today is going to be an episode on Graves. Graves and ADC, more specifically. Now, Graves is a champion that is strong. He's definitely short-range ADC. You don't want to be fighting, say, a Caitlyn, for example. This game, I end up doing that. It doesn't mean you're completely screwed, and you still do have options. And I think that's what I do in this game. I know that there was a Caitlyn I was fighting. I was trading effectively with. Essentially, you want to make a real effective use of your buckshot. It's short range, but that's going to be your main harassment tool and how you're going to keep people off your nuts. So when you're laning, you always want to sort of establish a jab. Any character, and I mean, like Vayne, for example, depending on the support that you have, say it's like a passive blitzcrank that's only looking for pulls, you may not have that option. Like establishing that jab may be a bad idea. The jab is the same as in boxing. I mean, the jab you establish to work off of, and in this case, the jab with Graves would be his Q, maybe followed up by an auto attack before or after. That is going to be all you're really trying to do in between farm, is landing the auto attack and the buckshot. And you're not going to be able to just walk on top of a good Caitlyn and do it. She's going to drop shots in your face and make you pay for it. Essentially, you're more going to be in a passive farming state, waiting for her to try and close the gap, and then making her pay for it. Just because she's got that range advantage on you, there's not many ways to take advantage of it beyond all-inning her. It's either you wait for her to sort of make the move and then make her pay for it. You're seeing it every time she moves in. I'm saving the buckshot. I'm not using it to farm. I would like to hit farm with it if I have the option. Assuming I want the lane push. There's scenarios where you don't want to be pushing the lane, but I'm confident against playing blitzcranks. Not so much with my supports, but myself, I know how to dodge pulls generally. It's just a matter of sitting in minions, and that is positioning you have to take into account depending on the people that you're laning up against. So for Blitzcrank, for example, you always want to be sitting in the pocket of minions. They're your safety net. They're your front line. And you'll notice anytime we get close to the turret, it's not really worth it going for potentially any farm here. A, you notice they're not actually getting low to be farmed. B, I'm not really benefiting from it at all beyond pushing the lane a little faster, keeping their wave under the turret, and then getting a little more health from the auto attacks. Like Graves is a champion you always want to be trying to maintain your stack level on, so you've got those resistances up, but it's just not a safe spot to be doing it in. Even I'm confident being able to dodge blitzcrank pulls, maybe not even dodge them so much as just avoid them by sitting in minions, but it's still there's so few benefits to be gained, especially early on with the turret armor that has been implemented recently, that you're better off just backing off and farming safely, and then re-pushing the turret and looking for more effective trades. So you notice Caitlyn is now kind of in a stage just from, and I'm not all-inning her. I'm just establishing a jab, slowly poking her down and farming. I don't do much special with ADC. This is half the reason why I think I can kind of explain this stuff well, and why you kind of should listen to me. I don't do anything particularly well in this game. I don't have godlike mechanics. I'm a big fat white guy. I'm not Asian. You know, like Asians have that 15% passive where they're just better at this game than everybody else. I don't know how they do it, but they do. Well, I do know how they work hard. I mean, it's a little racist, but it's still somewhat true. I mean, it's ingrained in their culture. It is what it is. All I do well as ADC is I position well effectively. I'm smart about the engages. Like right there, going for kill was really attractive when Jarvan came in for the gank. I chose to just run away. Unfortunately, Jarvan also chose to go for the guaranteed kill as opposed to the double. So he chose the safer route as opposed to the gamble. They did sort of have both options there. He could have jumped on me while the other two finished off Zyra, and then gone for me, hoping that Jarvan kept me in range. But anyways, and then I just go back to farming. And that is all you're trying to do. Like, it's an objective-based game. That's why a strategy background does really help with this. Just because most strategy games, especially StarCraft 2, when you're playing at a higher level, not so much at the early ones where you can just all in and win all the time, but you have to pick your opponents apart. You can't just walk in and do things. And that is what this game is. You gotta take things one step at a time. Like first, get the farm, so you got the items, so you can fight the problematic champions for late game, push the towers, do the damage that you need to. Everything you gotta slowly add to, or slowly pick your opponents apart. That's why you're not taking 3 turrets in one go. You take one, you back off, unless sometimes you can go for 2 if it's safe. There's spots where you look at the minimap and 4 people in one spot and you've just killed the other person. Okay, you can go for another turret, but it's all about being very strategic with your decision making. And that is what I'm trying to stress more than anything else, is just trying to be. That was a really nice pull. Like he chucked it for my. Let's rewind a little bit. It was a really nice pull. Like, slow this down. So I know he's trying to pull me, and he knows he's trying to pull me. Maybe it wasn't a good pull. Maybe it was a shitty one. Back that up one more time. Whoa, how far did I back up? They end up winning this. I'm good at rewinding. Come on. Ugh. Okay, here it comes. If I just kept going straight, I think it would have worked. I'm not sure if he was assuming I was going for the dash or not, but if he did, it was brilliant. And here, I do wish Zyra would kind of backed off. Didn't give me many options beyond, like, I think she's safe here, but I have a hard time just abandoning my ADC when they go for engages like that. I know, like, if Blitzcrank lands a pull or a knock-up in the middle, well, I'm low, she's fucked. So, like, there might be. It's not a spot. Like, if I was in Skype with the person, I'd be telling them to back off. And I don't like dropping pings in the middle of fights, because sometimes someone does. They've got a plan. They're gonna flash something, etc., etc. And the higher you go in ELO, the more supporting your teammates is gonna benefit you. So it's a habit I don't necessarily want to break. But there's also stages in games where you have to watch what your support's doing, see if they're making smart decisions, and then at some point decide to just stop following up on what they're doing. Because you're going to have supports that aren't making smart moves. And, I mean, you might not make. I mean, I've been that support, not making smart moves before. And there's not much you can do about it. I mean, you're not. By yelling at them, you're not really. There are certain things you can say that some people might listen to, but the majority of most people, I would say, aren't going to, in the middle of a game, immediately change their habits. And, I mean, basically what I'm saying is you gotta just make do with what you got. Like, recognize what it is, and then adjust your game accordingly. If they're making money engagements all the time, stay on their butt and take advantage of it. Abuse that shit. But there's going to be a lot of scenarios where it's not the case. Like, the Zyra should really recognize there that that's not a spot I can keep engaging in. Like, the tower started hitting me, If she would have stayed on me, we could have kept maybe pressuring. Like if Zyra's in front of me right here, I can't get near Caitlyn anymore because she most likely still has her ultimate. Yes. Most she really has to do is Q and then fire it at me, and that's it. There's nothing to block. I've got no options. And I know this, so I'm not letting her land that Q. Zyra comes up from behind. And again, I remember thinking, like, why didn't she walk in front of me? Like, she knew. Does she not know what? Anyways. But yeah, it guarantees us the kills, so it's more gold for us, which is good. More gold means more items, means more winning. Items means winning. So I guess I basically covered how to trade with Caitlyn. A lot of perpendicular movement to wherever she's going to be throwing Qs. Like, obviously she lines them up, and just getting into a habit of constantly moving around here. I'll fast forward to when I'm in the lane. Hopefully I demonstrate it. Greaves. Am I already dead? I'm already dead. Look at me. How'd that happen? Let's find out. Following Graves. Following somebody else. Following Graves. Dancing at the turret. For there are no other options. Except maybe buckshot that minion. Which I don't do. Fight kicks off. I try to focus Caitlyn. Oh, look at that, I got her. Yay. And then get annihilated by their jungle and support. I'm not sure what the right move there was. I remember this spot, and I saw the engagement happening at the tri-bush. Play it again. It's like the one time I shouldn't have been focused on my character. I finally started focusing on him. And I'm not sure what Blitzcrank's plan is here beyond... Oh, okay, pull... Oh, never mind, Blitzcrank. It's the enemy. So that starts. I'm already this close to Caitlyn. Blitzcrank's right there. Jarvan's right there. I mean, I'm low on health. And even here with a dash, like, you look at my positioning. Back up one more time. Back up one more time. Where I am, where all this starts, and we have no sight here. I'm just being careful. I know Blitzcrank's gone. He's hiding in one of these stupid bushes. See that happen, and like, I wanted to pause. So I was right here, and my dash will take me to right there. Blitzcrank's still right there. Jarvan's still right there. It's not a very safe spot. I'm really close to the kill, and it's just easier to go for it. Guarantee myself the money, and like that's a split-second decision you're gonna have to get into the habit of making, whether or not you can move in to engage, get the kill, or just back off and not give one. If you're 100% that you can back off and not give the kill away, then definitely probably do it. Because you can't always... It's just the worst feeling in the world when you go for that kill and you don't get it, and then you die. And, I don't know. There's a better way for me to explain that. And I will hopefully reach it in the future. Do I want to try and expand on that point more? I do, and I don't. Yeah. So go for kills when you know you're gonna get them, and don't give away easy ones. Yeah, that's really golden information. Good job, Jonas. Don't pick Graves into Zyra. Zyra's a champion that can give you a lot of problems with the simple fact you can't hide in minions. She outranges you with her bind. She can do burst damage if she lands the bind from a safe distance that you can't return. And like basically she can walk out, throw the bind, back off, and there's very little you can do without using your gap closer to get closer to her to try and kill her. It's really problematic. I've been in that spot twice in the past week or so, and both times it was horrible. Zyra's a really strong support to pick up. She's got, she's range, she's got harass, she's got a lot of CC. I almost can't think of a good reason why I'm playing Vel'Koz and Xerath over Zyra, beyond Vel'Koz and Xerath look cooler. I don't know if there's any good reasons beyond that. Well, then again, I can definitely nuke people all by myself as Xerath and Vel'Koz. That's something Zyra can't quite do. But the CC she brings to team fights really makes up for it. I wanted to back off, but again, Zyra was going to war, and I didn't want to leave her completely behind. But that's what I end up doing. There's no helping this. There's nothing to do. What am I going to do? Auto attack Jarvan a couple more times, get knocked up in the air, and die? So you always want... I guess we'll transition this into sort of what to do as ADC once your lane's lost or your tower goes down. Kind of my rule of thumb is you want... If you can farm your lane, keep doing it almost as long as possible, but only safely. Also, you don't want to be abandoning... If you're not getting a tower with that push, you should be with your team, is kind of a good way to put it. If you don't have the ability to split push the lane all the way down and take the tower out and get out safely, you probably should be wandering with the team once your tower goes down. Unless you can duel the person you're up against safely, push them out of lane, continue farming, ward up, farm safely, push lane, take turret, etc. If you can't do that, you should be wandering with the team at that stage, trying to pressure other lanes with them, looking for objectives like towers and dragons. Yeah, that's kind of... Towers really dictates it, and then how much farm you can get dictates it. I chose not to help Akali here, and just keep pushing the lane. I also kind of had faith that she might be able to take down Blitzcrank. Akalis can do magical things sometimes. They have hard single target burst. I'm convinced 99 support of Loud Swatter. Lord Swatter? Lord Swatter. I'm convinced that 99% of support Zyras want to carry anyways. You think so? Really? I'm not so much like that's half the reason I take Vel'Koz and Xerath, because I can kind of carry games with them. I can get fed and nuke people. I do see what you mean by a lot of Zyras being aggressive. I haven't had many passive Zyras. Like, I've had a lot of passive Blitzcranks that will sit literally behind me. I almost want to bring up a couple games that I had recently and just look for pulls. And that is it. They won't even threaten with the pulls. Like, cause that's a really big tool, where you just sort of walk close to them, stay within pull range, and just make them constantly worry about it. That's a tool to use in lane to harass with. In Zyras, I don't see that from them. They are much more aggressive in lane. Maybe it's got something to do with the, well, I don't know what it is. It's something to do with the way the champions played, for sure. And those plants are a giant pain in the balls. I've lost track of how many times they've been chunking my health and blowing my mind on how much damage they're doing as a support that's got no damage items. Anyways. So me, Reiki Graves. I picked up Graves primarily. He's got, what he brings to late game team fights is... Ooh, hey, you said more things. Passive Blitzcrank works because the hook is always ready. I don't think so. Passivity as a support is really bad. It leaves me in spots, especially against aggressive lanes, that I have little option to do anything but wait for the lane to push and farm under the turret. And it's not good farm either, you know, you're always missing a few. And like, you're almost stuck just waiting for him to land that big pull, and then even half the time the person just flashes out and you don't get the kill, and then he's got to land another one so you can actually get it, and I don't know. I think Blitzcrank, it's just too much of a one-trick pony. Like, I really, really like having at least one ranged poke, so you can constantly apply pressure to lanes. Just for the simple fact that, like, the more pressure you're applying to the lane, the more people you're dragging to the lane, and the more you're relieving pressure from other lanes, if that kind of makes sense. Like, if everyone's playing with a high-pressure game, and I know that this is popular in some LCS team with some fucking group, or in Korea, or something like that. Like, I can tell you from a jungler's perspective, when all three lanes are pushed and getting smashed, I don't even know what to do. Like, if everyone's under turret at half health, and say there's like a level advantage in top lane, like, even as a tanky jungler like Volibear, for example, he can do damage and he has CC. Half the time, that strong champion can just walk away from. Well, no, that's not true. That's not true at all. No one walks away from Volibear. Pressure is good. Pressuring airlines release pressure elsewhere. Blah 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 blah. I'm digressing a little too much into this. There was a point there, right? There was something. So yeah. Anyways, Blitzcrank is fun. That's I don't know. I hate it when I have Blitzcrank supports. That's almost the root of my rant here. There's a couple Blitzcrank supports I've had that they're just way too passive, and it made my laning life hell and boring, and I didn't have fun. Plus, like we outright lost. I mean, they still landed pulls, but the amount of farm that I lost compared to the kill goal that we got was not worth it. Is one good example, like just in straight maths. But I think he's good with like Vayne. Like champions that don't have the option to really harass. Like Vayne Janna is a really good combo for that reason, just because Janna shields Vayne, Vayne tumbles in, lands a Q, backs off, nice and safe. But say you're up against like a hard CC lane, it is nice having Blitzcrank there just to threaten, I guess. Yes, those are all really strong supports. I really like Braum. I played Nami for a long time, and there's no real good reason why I stopped. It might be that she just became way too popular and people got a lot more used to landing her bubbles. I picked her up right on release and played her for a long time. She was almost my only support for quite a while. And Braum, I still want to play him more. I'm like 1 in 5 with him in ranked. Like the regular games I played with him would go exceptionally well, and maybe I just had bad ADCs. I almost want to go over the games, but the replays are so old that I can't watch them anymore in this. After a while, things change, and like for example, all the textures are pitch black. It's like playing at night. Looks kind of cool, but not fun for watching replays, or at least doing reviews on them. Anyways, my point is I want to play more Braum, and he's really awesome. Really, really strong champion. Thresh also, I mean, I don't need to say anything. Everyone knows he's good. Everyone knows these things. I'm not sure what else to illustrate in this. I don't even know if we win. I would imagine we do, because it doesn't look like we're about to lose. And it does look like they're about to lose. They probably surrendered. Let's assume they surrendered and move on. I actually don't have another video I prepared. This is all I really had. Wonder if I should just jump into another one. I played a bunch of team builder games with Graves, but none of them seemed to go well. I don't remember any of them going well. I remember being more frustrated than having fun. Braum support. You can send the replay if you want a Braum one. Oh, I mean, I'll just play. Like, I just generate content. I'll just go play a couple Braum games. Plus, like, I almost think about what I want to cover while I'm playing them, and then try to sort of do it, and then so I can illustrate things. Yeah. Braum's awesome. Really, really, really strong. Really, really like him. It's an episode featuring Graves, so I would like to keep doing episodes on Graves, or do another Graves game. But I'm still learning him, and I'm not good with him yet, so I don't really want to demonstrate a game. Also, I'm building him kind of weird every game. It's probably not a good idea. Most times when I try to experiment with Graves builds, it goes, or try to experiment with ADC builds, I should say, it goes not well. But I like experimenting. There, it looks like I was competent in this game. Fighting Blitzcrank. Should be able to illustrate positioning properly against Blitzcrank, as an ADC at least. Some more. He's so popular right now. That should have some benefit to this. Strong comp. We got a weird comp. Swain, Scion. Brand support. Oh, I remember this game. I remember brand support. This went really well. Like, this was downright unfair, is what this game was. This is a really good example. Oh, I almost wanted to bring up I had a Varus ranked game with Vel'Koz that played Vel'Koz like I play Vel'Koz, and we crushed. We crushed. It was wildly unfair. Like, I felt bad for the people we were laning against. They had no options. You know, sit back and wait for the jungle, and even then, like, we could just turn around and kill them once they decided to engage. So let's fast forward. Get to the lane. So the name of this game is going to be Poking. Poking safely, anyways. I think Bran gets pulled a few times, but... some nicotine in my system while we're waiting for things. So that's how you avoid getting pulled. Bow. Bow to the audience. I'm still fairly confident that was one of the few times that he landed that on me in this lane. I will drop my ward in a heartbeat in a bush if I think Blitz is even going to wander into it. Keeping an eye on him is really important in the lane. Never, like, basically what I do when Blitz is in a dark bush is I treat the entirety of the bush like his pull range. Like, if he is in this bush and it was dark, I wouldn't get basically within this sort of circle right here. So going back to trading with ADC, it's a lot of landing safe auto attacks. Yeah, and you will get into this sort of you walk forward, they walk forward, you walk back, they walk back, or like you try to close the gap, they maintain the gap. That's almost your jab. Like I know I was talking about before, establishing a jab with your buckshot. But that's almost the first sort of step towards the harassment game, is closing the gap for the auto attack and doing it safely. And you notice here I'm low, but I'm still not terribly worried. I'm more worried about Trist's jump than Blitzcrank's pull. Just because I can't really disengage when she lands that. If she puts it right on top of me, even with a dash, I'll still be in auto attack range. But it's like stay within the minions, stay within auto attack range, semi within auto attack range. Stay behind the minions, keep blast hitting for the stacks and for health, and then try and look for opportunities to close the gap and land a little bit of harass. And you won't be able to do this until you already have that farming base down. Like I'm farming for 6,000 games. Well, let's say 5,000. I probably played 1,000 games of jungle. There's not much to do farming in jungle. Just hit the things and hit buttons and do a lot more watching the minimap. And anyways, you got to establish that core farming first, and really like that's all you want to focus on early on. Is yeah, I'm getting pulled like a noob here. I just walked past a minion. I gave Blitzcrank a really. I mean, he landed a good one. He waited for the right opportunity, like you were saying before, Lords. Landed that money hook. Burned my heal, burned my flash, forced me back. Good for him. Actually, it was almost a kill. I feel so stupid every time Blitz lands a pull. Like, I work so hard in lane to trade and poke them down, and then, you know, like one little mistake and a good Blitz just makes you fucking pay for it. Almost hurts my... I almost find him like, he damages morale almost more than he, like, pressures me in lane. Because sometimes they'll land like 2 hooks, and all of a sudden you're like, I can't dodge this fucker. And you're passive, and you're not farming anymore, and you're losing gold, and you're losing... Yeah, it's all bad. I've definitely been in that spot. Also, like, you go 2 deaths down, you just can't, you can't give another one, and almost because your team's gonna, start raging. Morale is so important in this. Like, you ever hear morale talked about in the old days where, armies were encamped for months at a time sieging a city, or, like, can you even imagine being stuck behind a fucking castle wall eating maggoty bread all day, getting your ass kicked, you haven't had a shower in 2 months, you're fucking shitting in a bucket using a rat for a pillow? Like there are people in this game that it goes 10 minutes in, and things, like, don't look good. And they just break down. They just give up, start fucking wandering, stealing farm, feeding lanes. Can you even imagine being in that spot? Mind-numbing. I almost want to take a bunch of, like stressed out or poster, like, soldiers that have been in some real shit, and make them play leagues for a month, and, like, see what happens to them. See if they rage uncontrollably in games. I doubt there would be much of any of... Well, there'd be some. There'd still be some. I don't want to say that, call any one person one thing. It's never true. I'm always wrong. That's basically my point. Wrong about everything all the time. Don't listen to me. Pillow rats. Nice. Yeah, I want to go on more random tangents like that in my podcasts or my summoning schools or whatever the fuck I'm going to call these. Poke, poke, poke. Shoot, shoot, shoot. Okay, I feel like I'm just talking about the same things over and over. I can't think of anything else to really mention. We could go into a bit of a how to position in team fights. How bad does this go for us? This is not a good game to illustrate that. And positioning in team fights is wildly important. And it's not hard to illustrate either. Let's just find a game where we got shit on, and I still did alright. I got kills here. Law Replay doesn't show you when you won or lost, which is kind of important in some of these. Just so I can remember what game's what. Wasn't fighting... Oh, game with the Karma. This was a nightmare. Let's check this out. There's a lot of people gap closers. Yasao, Warwick. That I have to position really smart against. Let's see if I do it. I mean, most of my positioning is like habit for team fights, so it's pretty safe to load up almost any game. With some of them I've been building a little weird, and I have like 0 impact with my auto attacks, and it's kind of sad to watch. I don't want to show you. You want to become a good blitzcrank? Go play Karma for 10 games in a row. Just because you're throwing so many Qs. Like, the speed is very similar. The range is very similar. But with Karma, you're doing it, like, 15 times more, literally, than you are with Blitz. Plus, like, Karma's a cunt to deal with when she's aggressive. You can't chase her. You almost, like, have to let her walk in. Like, you have to dodge her stupid Q, land something to trade. And like that's your only option. Like, wait for her to close the gap, because chasing Karma is stupid. Stupid and pointless. You have to wait for her to close the gap, and then you have to dodge your shit, because it's going to be, like, especially as Graves, it's going to be longer range. I mean, like with Varus, I can just kind of back off and charge a Q and then throw it in their face. I love Varus as an ADC. I just wish you had a gap closer. There's certain champions, like, if I pick Varus first, I almost, like, I just see them, like, Riven. Everyone takes a gap closer that can jump on me, make my life hell. Basically, I can't get into a single team fight without a flash. And that sucks. But Varus' ult's so nice. That's fine. If you're taking kills, that's fine. Like, as long as you're getting them. Your ADC is going to get mad at you, but it doesn't matter. I mean, try not to take them, but don't let that discourage you from playing the support. Like, if you're getting a lot of kills and you're not going for them, it almost means that you're doing something really, really right. Is a good way to put it. Karma's so strong. Ugh. Just a little shorter range than I like. Like, I really like Xerath's and Vel'Koz's range. I mean, even in team fights, I can stay at a really safe distance and really have a decent impact, which is important for solo queue because you have no idea how your team's gonna form up, right? But if I was playing with a ranked team, I would probably opt for a Karma or Nami. Yeah, that's gonna happen. I mean, I want to say don't worry about it, but I mean morale is, yeah. The lower endings. I played a blind game at like 6 in the morning today, and I got all bronzes, and oh my god, like I was pulling my fucking hair out. I mean, laning was fine, but once the laning phase ended, it was just a nightmare. Everyone's yelling at each other about just dumb shit. Everyone's chasing kills. We didn't get a single tower the entire game beyond the one that I took at like the 9-minute mark. No one was even going for them. Never formed up once for a 5-man push. Never went for a single dragon as a team. Like, it was just a fucking nightmare. Maybe I just stopped playing for like 2 hours. It was just no fun. Like, it was fun for lane, but then once laning phase, and it was like a 45-minute game too, because the other team was, you know, probably around the same rank, and I must have tanked. Like, either it was 6 in the morning, and like I queued up for Team Builder for something like 15 minutes, and nothing even joined a game. So I joined a blind game, and yeah, nightmare. Fuck. Okay, let's. I wanted to show more late game team fights, but let's watch Karma beat me up some more. Nice pull. I think I was late in the buckshot there. That's how she got away. I do remember that. She might have had a shield up, but I'm not gonna rewind. It's been a couple times there where, like, for some reason, I've got this idea in my head that I need to save my buckshots for mana or something, and then it turns out to not work out at all. I feel like I could break down what I just did there, but I largely shot at Vayne and then ran away, and then shot at Vayne and then ran away, hoping Blitz would do something. Sometimes I don't even really have a plan in my head. I'm just trying to maintain distance, be safe, keep farming, and then look for an opportunity. Just kind of play it by ear. This video is getting way too long. I need to end this soon. We'll just transition to the late game. Okay. It's a 40-minute long game, so okay, there's a team fight there. Let's see if I position properly. What did I do? Where is Graves? Is Graves dead? He's not. That's good. There I am. Alright, so what's my thought process here? Vayne's pushing the turret, save the turret. That's all. That is my thought process at the moment. Don't want to dueler. Vayne's a couple levels ahead. Also, Vayne is much stronger with single target damage than Graves is. I do more AoE. I'm looking for, you know, clustered teams when team fights start. And if she wants to dive, that's fine. Like, the turret, I can kill her, but on my own, it's not an option. It's actually a good thing I at least took her down there, because I wasn't getting away from these guys. Again, the name of the game is positioning, so... What you kind of always want to do is maintain a safe distance from the closest threat, but stay within auto attack range. As long as you can within relative safety. Like at full health there, I can get close to Renekton. Although not like I meant to hug him there. I think it was more of a... He used a gap closer, one of his slice and dices or something. Moving ahead. Went and farmed that lane, probably went back. Rejoined team. Probably, did I just miss a team fight? I sure did. This game's fast. Und furious. I'll never say that again, I'm sorry. I'm so sorry. Come on. This is what no preparation looks like. I'm just doing these games on the fly. Where's that team fight? Was I not even there? It's possible. I was not. I'm going back, and then the fight starts. Okay. I'm teaching nothing. This is probably boring. Wild sort of initiation of team fight. Maintain distance from graves. Auto attack. Auto attack. I should have been kiting there. I remember thinking even why wasn't I? I could have gotten maybe another auto attack in or two before he killed me. Kiting is essential. It's ADC. You pretty much always want to do it. Don't get lazy like I just was there. I don't know. I could have been. This could be like at 5 in the morning when I'm hammered. I don't remember when this game was played. To be fair, but yeah. Bad practice, or you basically have to treat every game as practice. The more bad habits you establish in every game you play, the more they're going to sort of bleed into rank. Like even these videos that I'm doing have been bleeding a lot into my gameplay, where I'm hearing my own stupid fucking lessons as I'm trying to close gaps and land buckshots and maintain distance and safely land auto attacks and not take any, and etc. etc. Yeah. So I'm down here for some fucking reason, and I'm probably typing at the team. I don't know why. This is a good example of what not to do as ADC. Looks like they were waiting for me to engage, which is smart. I jump on the vein. Now this is bad positioning. Once Renekton had closed the gap there, I should have backed off. Then again, this is also really chaotic. Landed like, what, 4 auto attacks throughout the entirety of that? Probably got another shit build. Oh no, I'm built fairly normally. Oh, turn the camera. No. I think we just lose the game right here. Oh no, we don't. There's still lots of time left. Yeah. Yeah. I want to at least illustrate. I don't feel like I've illustrated anything with this game. I'm just wasting your time, lords. Thanks for listening, though. Lords and. Oh, just lords. You're alone now. Maybe you guessed. Probably not. There's gotta at least be one more team fight where I do nothing and we die. Okay, fuck it. I tried. I'm not gonna start searching through the game looking for something. That's not fun to watch. I might even just end this. I gotta have to clip this video short or something. But thank you very much for watching. And until next time. I need a sign out of some sort that's like leagues related. I've been saying keep fit and have fun, which is kind of funny from Body Break, which you can YouTube search. Yeah, you with Lord's Water said, I personally don't like Graves against Yusao. He negates most of your teamfight damage. He does, it's almost like Vayne kind of does too, if you're just walking up and buckshotting and dropping your ult at the same time. You want to really use your ults intelligently. Like, almost go play a week of Hearthstone. And just like the timing of when you want to use cards, like the habit of, I have this card, and it's really, really strong right now, and I want to use it, but he has X and Y, which could totally fucking negate it. So maybe I should hold on to this for a turn or two and wait for something that can deal with that problem. It's like the same thing with Yusao's Wind Wall. You don't want to walk up and just buckshot and auto attack and blow your ult right into Yasuo when you know the wind wall's up. If you saw him just use it, then it's safe. But you almost kind of have to wait for him to use that, because that's a big thing that you're contributing to the team fight, is just your buckshot and auto attack. Like Graves I would consider a AD building champion, as opposed to more, you need attack speed too so you can build the stacks, but more of a AoE damaging champion than he is like a single target nuker hard carry like Vayne or Tristana. Yeah, even like where there's a game where I was fighting a Vayne earlier today that maybe I should almost want to bring up right now and show, where I would wait for her to tumble, wait for the stealth to end, and then drop my auto attacks. Or like you either want to do that, you wait for them. Like those are the two options you have with skill shots: is you wait for them to throw it, to use their dodge or to start dodging, and then you lead it on the trajectory that they're dodging on, or you try to surprise them and just drop it immediately. And I think that is the option that you're basically talking about, how Yasuo negates with his wind wall, is if you just walk up and try and drop it in his face. So just try and be a little more tactical about the decisions as to when you use your auto attacks against champions that can negate things like that, and you'll just keep that in mind, and you might see an improvement. I mean, I hope so. I need to have more confidence in the things that I say, but yeah, we'll leave it at that. Personally, don't think it works. Okay, thanks for watching, Lords, and anyone else who watches the recording, I thank you, and good night.